very good morning to all. In today's lecture, we will discuss the process of investigation of corruption under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. Generally, under the Code of Criminal Procedure, any officer in charge of a police station may, without the order of a magistrate, investigate any cognizable case which a court having jurisdiction over the local area within the limits of such station would have power to inquire into or try under the provisions of the Criminal Procedure Code 1973. But in reference to the corruption cases, according to Section 17 of the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, investigation into cases under this Act should be done by police officers not below the rank of Deputy Superintendent of Police, and it also enumerates the police officers who are entitled to investigate. According to Section 17, investigation shall be done by a police officer not below the rank of, in case of Delhi, an inspector of police, in metropolitan areas of an assistant commissioner of police, or in case of any other place elsewhere by a deputy superintendent of police or an officer of equivalent rank shall investigate any offence punishable under this act without the order of a metropolitan magistrate or a magistrate of first class, or make any arrest therefore without a warrant. Section 17 also provides that if a police officer not below the rank of an inspector of police is authorized by the state government in this behalf by general or special order, he may investigate such offence without the order of a metropolitan magistrate or magistrate of first class, or make arrest without a warrant. So according to this provision, if a state government has authorized any police officer of the rank of inspector of police or above, then in that situation he will also be entitled to exercise the powers vested under the act upon the deputy superintendent of police or upon the officers of equivalent rank or above. In reference to the speedy disposal of trials under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, some arrangements has been made. Generally, a major cause of delay in the trial of cases is the tendency of the accused to obtain frequent adjournments on one plea or the other. So due to the frequent adjournments obtained by the accused person, the trial of cases in any criminal matter or civil matter takes times for its disposal. There is also tendency on the part of the accused to challenge almost every interim order passed even on miscellaneous application by the trial court, in the High Court, and later in the Supreme Court, and obtaining stay of the trial. So due to the tendency of the accused person or any party to the suit on any petty orders also, on any simple orders also, there is a tendency that against such orders an appeal being made by the parties in the high courts or in the Supreme Court, and that's why the disposal of cases takes time by the courts. Such types of opportunities to the accused need to be restricted by incorporating suitable provisions in the CRPC. It may also be made mandatory for the judges to examine all the witnesses summoned and present on a given date Adjournment should be given only for compelling reasons. In order to ensure speedy trial of corruption cases, the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 made the following provisions. First, all cases under the Act are to be tried only by a special judges. So, corruption related cases should be tried by the special judges appointed by the state governments or the central governments. Second thing is that this act provides for the proceedings of the court should be held on a day-to-day basis. This act mandates on the courts to conduct day-to-day hearing of the case so that speedy disposal of the case can be done and the culprits can be punished under the provisions of this act. Also, provisions has been made under the act that no court shall stay the proceedings under the act on the grounds of any error or irregularity in the sanction granted unless in the opinion of the court it has led to failure of justice. So if there is any irregularity in granting sanction for the prosecution of the government officials, in that situation, merely on this ground, the proceedings under this act cannot be curtailed by the court unless and until it causes failure of justice to the accused person. The experience with the trial of cases under the Act has been disappointing in spite of the provisions which were considered as path-breaking at the time. Despite the provisions provided under this Act for the speedy disposal of the corruption cases, the result is not too good, and still the trial of corruption cases takes more time, and in most of the cases the trial of the accused government officials does not convert it into punishments. Although the judges trying corruption cases under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 have been declared as special judges, they have been saddled with numerous other non-corruption cases, with the result that trials in corruption cases get delayed. To avoid such delays and speeding up the trials under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, provision should be made to appoint special judges dealing with only for corruption cases. So under the Act, it is necessary to appoint special judges only for the purposes of corruption cases, and they should not be provided other responsibilities in relation to other criminal cases. Otherwise, overburdening the judges will ultimately affect the justice delivery system, and it will causes unreasonable delay for the trial of such cases. Thank you so much.